We start here this hour. Tshwane Mayor Cillier Brink says he's confident that it's not the end of the road for him as mayor. Brink was briefing the media in Pretoria today ahead of the motion of no confidence against him that's expected to take place next week, Thursday. The motion was submitted by the ANC after a fallout over several grievances, which include poor service delivery and the city's ailing finances. The mayor joins us live via Teams this evening. Good evening, Mayor. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So you held that media briefing this afternoon. Just take us through the salient points you shared with the media on your 18 months at the helm.
Fundo, good to talk to you. The important point of the media briefing was to reflect on some of the progress we've achieved as a multi-party coalition in Tshwane, including improving the financial situation and sustainability of the city, improving the audit outcome of the city, devising a credible solution to the problem of Hammanskraal water, a decades-long problem, installing a competent top management, and basically laying the basis for improving the services and the lived experiences of Tshwane residents. It's important to appreciate progress in order to preserve it. Not all the metros are the same. Obviously not, service delivery is not perfect in Tshwane by no stretch of the imagination, but we've put in place the systems, the processes, we've taken the first steps in order to achieve a gradual improvement in delivery.
You're the first then to concede that services are not perfect, as you state. What could be the reasons that they haven't gotten to that level of perfection? Is it because you started on a lower base? What exactly are the reasons now? Because this is among the reasons that you've got the African National Congress calling for your head.
So it's important to understand the pressures that are on metropolitan municipalities in the north of the country. This is obviously quite aside from trying to fight misgovernance, misspending of public money, corruption, and so forth. And that is that our population in the past decade has grown faster than the economy. And it's grown faster than the rate-paying and service-paying base of municipalities. So many people move to cities in hope of a better life, better services, better work opportunities, better schools. And because the economy isn't growing, they're very often disappointed. And so end up living in informal settlements, backyard dwellings, and so forth, and don't enjoy access to formalized services. And municipalities don't have the resources to catch up quickly enough with this development backlog. And in the face of this, the best you can do is to make sure that your administration is as capable and effective as possible, that you act against misspending and corruption. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of political instability in Tshwane in the past few years. The city was placed under administration by the Gauteng provincial government in 2020. That caused enormous financial hardship. It was at the height of the COVID-19 lockdown. And so we've gradually had to put together the pieces, recruit teams, restore a culture of accountability and performance. And we are now at a point where we've achieved significant results, but it's also fragile. It can still be taken apart.
I'm getting from you that in the main you're attributing the poor service delivery to urbanization, which is not an unknown phenomena. And many would just say it cannot be an excuse anymore for most of these municipalities. There needs to be greater planning because it's inevitable. A lot of people would be migrating to the cities. Your take on that?
So I'm not saying at all that, urbanization is the big issue. I'm saying it's one of the factors. And what makes the in-migration to our cities very difficult is the fact that the economy hasn't been growing. So as folks have arrived in cities, we simply don't have the resources to do the development. It's not a matter of planning, it's a matter of resources. But there are other factors as well. It is networks of corruption that have operated in Tshwane that have existed for many years. And I believe that our government has acted decisively. I'll give you the example of the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant, where the officials involved with awarding that tender to a consortium associated to Edwin Sodi have in fact been suspended, and we're in the Labour Court to have them dismissed. We're cooperating with the SIU. We made significant progress in dealing with the misspending of public money, and this has been recognized by the SA Local Government Association. So no, not just urbanization. The point I was making was that building a capable administration is the only way to deal with those pressures. And of course, we do hope that we see economic growth.
Mayor, let's talk about the precarious position you find yourself in now with the exit of Action SA, which many say has left you quite vulnerable. You say the party's withdrawal from the coalition was, among others, a very deceitful decision. Talk to us about the position you find yourself in right now, where possibly you could be voted out.
Yes, so Action SA has been in government in the coalition in Tshwane for longer than I've been the mayor. We had a coalition agreement. We had power sharing mechanisms. Action SA still has members of the mayoral committee responsible for social and economic development and key oversight, especially in the northern parts of the city. We have resolved all of the disputes between coalition partners. And Herman Mashaba, as the national leader of Action SA, was simply allowed, perhaps because his party structures aren't democratically elected, he was allowed to simply announce that he was bringing the coalition to a fall. And this was a breach of good faith, deceitful conduct, different reasons given on different days as to why this decision was made. This has obviously plunged the city into political instability. My
but that
focus
announcement,
in the meantime
pardon me for
is to
interjecting
keep
there.
the
Pardon me for
administration.
interjecting there, Mayor, but that announcement, it was somewhat delayed because he stated that that was his individual position, but he was taking this back to the structures. He was going to sit with the leadership and then a final decision would be taken. So you still say that this was something that he decided upon and unilaterally was the one that decided to pull the plug?
He's the leader of the party. He's never faced an elective Congress. He didn't consult his structures before he made his announcement. And when he started attacking the coalition in which his own party serves, he didn't indicate that we're thinking about this. He said we want to bring this government to a fall, and at times he's also said he prefers the EFF to the DA as coalition partner. So it's quite clear that Action SA has acted in bad faith. They've certainly not followed the provisions of the coalition agreement. They've ignored attempts by me and our coalition partners to reach out to them. So they've acted in complete bad faith.
Well, at least for the viewers, the leader of Action SA will be present today on the South African Public Broadcaster, but later on with my colleague Clement Manyatela to answer to some of what you say that he has acted in bad faith. But Mayor, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's Cillier Brink, City of Tshwane Mayor.